Hello, the internet. Welcome back. So I am out here with my buddy Andy. We're at Jump Off Canyon in Ogden, Utah. About to go on a little hike and do a little bit of recon for some survivalist camping in a few days.
Many wild edible plants around here. One that is good for tea, that's abundant, is yarrow. Also dandelion, and we have mallow right here, which is edible. They call them cheesies because the plant looks like a little cheese wheel, but the roots of this are good to eat. You can make tea out of it as well. I'm gonna be on the lookout for some yarrow.
I used to eat that when I was a kid, mallow. What was it that we got last time we were up here? Elderberry, right?
No, it was rose hips.
Rose hips, that's right.
Rose hips. That's cherry. And this is the kind of sage, this is that white sage.
That's the stuff you bundle up and burn there, huh?
Yeah. It gets even a little more fragrant than this next month, but it's starting to get that good smell. And of course we've got oak, so from these, we can get acorns. But those won't come till later, but it's better to boil the acorn, and then you can pound it down into a powder, and you can just mix water, and you got little patties that you can cook on a hot rock, and you got a cake just from the acorn. But if you eat them when they're like that extremely bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
so
you gotta soak them and get the tannins out.
Get the tannins out, soak them in the water. But we'll have to time that one and grab some of those and see if we can make some little acorn cakes.
Do you know of any other caves out here other than Garner Cave?
Garner Cave, and then there's Camel Cave.
I don't think I've been to that one. How deep is that one?
Pretty deep. And then there's another cave up 21st Street Indian Trail off a ravine. I don't know if it's that, and it's from the old days, like there's like remnants of stuff from the old miner days and that kind of stuff if you're looking.
You ever explored an old mine shaft?
I haven't really had the courage, but I did go to Layman's Caves. Are you familiar with it? Whole cave system that you can take tours into it. We went down there like over a mile, and it stays around like 55 degrees.
Oh, that's dope.
Giant stalactites. I think it's on the border to the west, but I went with my grandpa. He was big into like caves and rocks and all that kind of stuff.
The last one I went to that was like a tour was Timpanogos.
Timpanogos Cave, I went to that one too. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
That was years ago when I went to that one. Did you go recently?
Yeah, fairly recently. I went when I was a kid, and it was just interesting listening to the guy tell the story about the place. He says, you know, even if you hadn't been here in 40 years, chances are this place is exactly the same. He said, like, he was talking about the mineral buildup and how long it actually takes to grow a millimeter on those stalactites, and it's like, yeah, like in a single lifetime of one person, they didn't even grow a millimeter.
Yeah, then you imagine the eons of time it takes to form that cave like that.
What was so interesting about it too was it gave me a new respect for rocks. I never used to think of, like, I've always considered myself like a panpsychist, that everything is to some degree conscious.
Sure.
But rocks, like, that's a hard one. It's so inanimate, people don't think of that as something as conscious. But when you see these cave systems, you just realize their lifespan is much longer. Kind of like if you watch a plant on time lapse, it appears to be alive.
Well, it's really hard.
But if you were to watch rocks on a large enough time span, you'd see that certain minerals isolate themselves and form into certain patterns. New species of rock is born.
So I just got to look at the little shady places and see if I find some going in there.
You ever seen wild raspberries out in this area?
Not right here, but along this, yeah, down by, they've got them by Buse Pond.
Okay.
And then they got them, bluebell. They got them by Buse Pond, and then they also grow up by Adams Canyon, and they also grow, it's a variety called a thimbleberry. It's a thimbleberry. It's like a raspberry. It's like a wild raspberry. Clover varieties. More going through the oak. We might end up seeing some maple further up there, some juniper. Yep, there's a juniper up there. Not bad at all. Go on.
What is it?
It's where all the sugar in the grass in this rhizome, and then as it goes to seed. But yeah, you can straight up eat it. It's down there. You can mark white color. Want to try one?
I'm all right.
You scared?
No, I'm not scared. I'll try one. I'll try it.
You're not bad at all.
What does it taste like?
A little sweet. It's not bitter. Try that one. I got a really good one. As soon as it gets harder, that's where you don't want it. So just spit that part out. The very tips, all the plant sugar, there's a lot of moisture there.
I'm trying to think what the taste reminds me of.
It's almost like cucumber and celery.
I'm gonna say kind of celery-ish.
Let me quiz you, or let me poll you. So, grasshoppers or locust varieties strung through on a stick over a fire, would you eat or would you not?
Depends, I guess. If I was in a true survival situation, yeah. Recreationally, probably not.
Not as a learning experience to see what they taste like.
Probably not.
So we got a juniper variety here, at least I think that's what it is. Looks like it does have berries. Not sure at what stage you want.
Yeah, they're green right now.
Yeah. I would, in fact, maybe I will, because that'd be a lot less of an undertaking than killing a mammal or a fish primitively. I could just gather grasshoppers and throw them on a stick and put them over the fire just to try it. I'd say they're an excellent source of protein and minerals.
Just the idea of eating an entire head, body, legs, everything.
Looks like there's
Crunchy.
no water for the dogs here. So I'm gonna, in good faith, I'm gonna give them some and I hope that the owners clean up their poop. I'll give them a little.
Pouring some out for the homies.
Yep, little dog homies. We're gonna leave a little bit in here just in case we wanna try a water fire.
Now, a water fire, you're all saying? What do you mean a water fire? How do you start a fire with water?
Same way you start it with the magnifying glass. You concentrate the rays of the sun. So you can hear that crickets are abundant. So I'm gonna, if I was to get a fire going and I could rig it, I am going to eat some crickets. There we go. Catch them right out of the air. There you go. You have food. They say that they're not bad. They say they're not, I've not tried them, but they say they're not bad. So this you can also literally just eat. Say it has antiseptic qualities. Makes a good tasting tea. First yarrow I've noticed. Pretty young yarrow, so yeah. Fancy yarrow. We needed it for the nutrients, and that's another thing. Like if you're in a survival situation, a lot of these plants you can just throw them in a pot with some water and drink it, and you get a lot of nutrients that way. You don't necessarily get calories, but you do get nutrients, and even the cactus bears fruit.
Yeah, cactus pear right there.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Well, it looks like it's a blossom now.
Yeah, these aren't edible anyway, but you got there. Yeah, so everything really is almost edible. And what we have to look out for is rattlesnakes.
Yeah, this is the time of year. They want to come out and start sunning themselves on the trail.
Yes, and I've seen many on this trail. Four of them. This mint here, and there's different varieties, right? The kinds that you get down by the water have almost like a spear shape to the leaves, but yeah, smell it. It's almost just a hint. Go and smell that.
Yeah.
Make some good tea.
Yeah.
Well,
We've been making mint tea at my mom's house with mint out of her garden. It's really good.
Have ya?